Alright, a couple of you have been asking me about the recipe for the lemon ginger blast, so I'm going to show you what I do to make this crescent you were asking me yesterday. So what I want to do is just kind of show you what I put in it, and it's actually a very energizing drink, and depending on how much habanero you put in it, it's very spicy too, but it'll give you that kick. So basically these are the ingredients that I put in for one. This is for 1 quart. I'll use 5 organic Granny Smith apples, 4 organic lemons. This is just 1 bunch of kale, like you can get at Fresh Market. They'll sell it in a bunch. I'll put 1 bunch of that. I use ginger. I use a little bit more ginger. They say 1 inch. This is a little bit more, and I'll show you how to cut through the ginger and peel it. And I'll be moving up to 2 whole habanero peppers today. So basically, I've already cut most of the ingredients. I'll show you what I do. This is the apples and the lemons. For the lemons, really, you can peel them if you want, but I just take a knife and just kind of get the peel off really quick. If you want to try to get a little bit more juice out, you can peel it. It's not that big of a deal. So I'll just go through real quick, get the lemon, then I'll cut it in quarters. So they come out, looks just like this. Put those in. And then for the apples, I've got a really easy way to do this here. I've just got one of these corer and slicers. So I'll just take the apple, kind of slice down on it there, and that makes the orange slices, and you don't have to worry about the core. The core comes right out with the seeds. You don't want the apple seeds in the drink because that'll add a little bit of iodine, and so I don't put the seeds in. And then with the ginger, what I do right here, so I'll add a little bit more to mine, but I'll just basically take and just, you can kind of see how it's in the raw form here. I'll take and cut the edges off and just get down into the meat of the ginger. And then what I end up with is a block like this. And then for the habaneros, just basically just pull the stem off. And what I'll do is I'll start feeding some of the stuff through. The lemons are a little bit foamy, and the apples. So I tried putting the ginger in first yesterday, and I kind of got some leak stuff out. So what I'm gonna do is just start a little bit of this stuff, then add the habanero and ginger, and then keep feeding the rest of it. So I've got the Super Angel juicer here. It's a twin gear that you can use any juice that you have. So what I'll do is I'll just start putting a couple apples in and get the juices going, and I'll alternate with lemons. That way it doesn't get too foamy and frothy with the apples. So this part takes a little bit of time, going through the 5 apples. But like I said, I'll alternate. And once I get about halfway through these, that's when I'll put my ginger and the habaneros in. And it starts coming up here. I told you it gets a little bit foamy. So I've got another plunger here that I use. It's got a seal around it. And that'll kind of help push it through there and squeeze it. So at this point, I'll go ahead and add my ginger and the 2 habanero peppers. You'll kind of see when those peppers get in, you'll start seeing it a little bit orange down in here. And then I'll just keep feeding the apples and the lemons in there. The process goes pretty quick. And like I said, this will make just shy of 1 quart. It really juices up quick. Doesn't take much effort at all. And then I'll do the greens last. We'll put the kale in, and only these twin gear juicers, they really eat the greens up. Doesn't do quite as good on the soft fruits, like the lemons and the apples, but we'll see here in a minute how I'll just tear through that kale. Like I said, it's a very energizing drink. And you need to work your way up. I started out with 1 habanero. Well, I tried it the first time with a half a habanero, and that was split between a few different people. And I thought, well, I could take a little bit more spice, so I put 1, then I've worked up to 1.5. And now, I think I'm ready for 2. My goal is to get to 3 habaneros per quart. So we've got the apples and the lemons juice there. I'm just going to start feeding the kale in. Kind of see how it'll just start sucking the greens in here. I use kale. Some people use arugula. I also have some collard greens to try. Try that out in the drink. But I like the kale. Kale's really good. If you're making this for kids, I would recommend not using the habaneros. Some people use jalapenos instead of habaneros. I find that I like the habaneros a little bit better. It gives a little bit more spice. So basically we've gone through this whole bunch of kale. More pieces here. And the juicing's done. With the green, or with the Super Angel, and some of the other twin gear juicers, it turns out a little bit foamy. You can see there's some foam on the top. So we're not going to put that in the drink itself. So I've got this little container here that it's got a mesh screen on top of it. And I'll pour it in here and kind of sift through with a spoon so that the foam and everything won't get in the drink itself. You can see here the waste from the Super Angel. Basically what I'll do is get your little spoon, just kind of go into the foam and stir it up. And you see how green that starts getting from the kale? What I'll do is I'm going to start just a nice steady pour until this, well, I'm getting it all over the place. When it fills up, I just sift through it with the spoon. This part takes just a little bit of time because you'll have that foam and stuff in there that you want to let sort out. You just keep doing this until you get through the entire cup that we've made. Just let it go right through that screen. And then once this container gets a little bit full, we'll take this screen off, rinse this out, pour this into my jar. I'm making a mess here. Do it again, just kind of stir it up. And I rinse that screen out so they get some of those particles out of there. Basically you're just trying to sift through it so that most of the liquids will come out the bottom. And I'll take this and sip on it. It'll last me, probably go through it in about a half hour or so. Depends on how much heat you're in for, you're ready for. Like I said, start out slow on the habaneros. Basically that's it, you're done. You're ready to just drink it straight out. So hopefully this will help you. And now you know how to make the lemon ginger blast.